Hello everyone, welcome to another week in our garden. Lovely, beautiful, dry day. You wouldn't think that yesterday we had torrential rain and today sunshine. That's beautiful spring weather. It'll make the plants and the weeds grow. We're going to start off in the shed because we've been gifted some more products from Gardening Naturally that I want to show you. These are the products I'll be using in the next few weeks. Now they asked me what I'll be needing in the next few weeks, so I made a little list and they've kindly sent the products for me. So I'll go through showing you what we've got, and then we'll actually film when we're actually using them on the garden. So to start with, now they've sent us some of these hoops that I want to make a short tunnel so I can put the salad crops in. These will be on bed A with the squashes and the marrows, so I'm going to squeeze this tunnel in as well. I'm only going to cover it with this butterfly net. It will keep the butterflies and the birds off the salad crops. It's a very good net, it's very strong. It shall last a few seasons, this will, so I'm pleased with that. Now to put the net on, they've also sent me the ground pegs for the hoops and some clips to hold the net on. This will make a nice tunnel for us to grow the salad crops in. We'll film that being put up next week on plot A. Because we've got those mesh tunnels down there, I'm going to hang some of these yellow sticky traps in the tunnel. They will attract any bugs that are in there, but it'll also let us know what's in there. I'm also going to put one or two in the greenhouse as well. We just tied them up with these wire paper strips. That we'll put those in next week as well. Now I was due for a new riddle, so I thought, well, we'll have a new riddle. Mine's as old as me and it's dropping to bits a little bit, so we're going to have a new sieve. This is the one I've got. It's a good sieve, it's nice and deep, and it has two different sizes of sieve to put in the bottom. You take that one out and clip that one in, and you can have a smaller or larger holes. I'm going to find this. This will be very, very useful. The one I have at the moment is one of those round ones, and it's very low and it's getting a bit rusty as well. It won't go rusty, it's well galvanised and it's plastic, so, and it's a useful size. I thought that was a good size. It would just fit on the plant trays, etc. I'm very pleased with that. Now the next items are what we'll all be using very shortly. We've got the organic potato fertilizer. This is from Vitax, good stuff. Use that every year, it never fails. The other thing I've got is this multi-purpose plant food. It is organic and it has the mycorrhiza fungi in it, which is very, very useful. I like this one because you can either put it in the planting hole, mix it with your compost, or actually spread around your plants and hoe them in. Hoe it in and it'll work better. Remember, when you are using this though, you need to wet it. Now we'll all be putting our beans and peas in soon, so I needed a new net. I've had my net, which is a plastic net, but I've had it for about 5 years now and it's getting 1 or 2 holes in it, so I asked for another bee and pea net. Plenty on it, there's 22 metres on it squared, so that'll be enough for across and back again on my garden. Now you can get from Gardening Naturally, they do a jute net that comes in various sizes, but the amount I would want would be far too expensive. I'd need about six or 8 pieces just to go across the garden and back. But I've an idea to work on with that. Now, if you've got a smaller garden, Gardening Naturally also do an arch for your beans and peas and a flat top for your beans and peas. Frames these are. And you can actually order those, and they will come with jute netting or plastic. So if you're thinking that you only want a smaller frame, do have a look in the catalogue or speak to them and they'll sort you out on that. Okay, now the last item we got was the fruit tree grease. It's coming up to that time of year now. We need to make sure the grease is all sticky and replenished. We'll be doing that in the next fortnight. This is the tree grease. It'll be going on in the next fortnight, so if you are doing it, you want to get your orders in quickly. Gardening Naturally, I've still got your 10% discount for your first order. Just mention Castle 10 or write it or put it on your order form, and then you'll get your 10% discount. Now this is Gardening Naturalist catalogue. It is free. Do give them a ring, get one and have a look through. And it's absolutely full of useful things that you'll need for your gardening. Okay, now I just want to show you, I don't know if you can remember last time we had a few bits from Gardening Naturally. I had the root trainers that came in a holder. Now I've grown the peas and the beans in them, so I'll just show you now the results. As you can see, they're growing beautifully in there. I planted them in. I planted the seed into the root trainers, put the top on, and as soon as they germinated I took the top off, and I've left them in so it's easier to move about. But as you can see, they're superb, and they'll be easier when I get to the garden to take them out and plant them. So I'm going to have to get busy with that, and so we can get those planted. Now, if you can remember, last week we said we'll do some grafting of the tomatoes, so I brought half a dozen up, so we'll get on with that now. To do the grafting, you'll need your grafting knife, your grafting tape and your clips. The colours are different sizes. That's the smallest of the lot. I think we'll be using these green ones because these stems are quite thick. These are the two tomatoes we're going to graft together. We're going to graft it into that bare stem and that bare stem. This one has been specially grown for its root stock only. The fruit are no good at all, but it's disease resistant and very vigorous. It's actually called Submarine. This one's Outdoor Gill, which is still a good tomato on its own, but it'd be even better if we graft it onto this one. I think it would be easier for me to show you with it laying down. But if you bring them, pop it out its pot first. I always find it's easier without them in the pot. What you want to do is bring them together, and that's where we're going to do the graft, you see, because we know it will sit like that. We can remove all this later. Okay, so there's the graft. And what we'll do, let's just nip that off. Take that away. Turn that up a little, and then in, through and out, and then just take that tail off. There you go. It's a very sharp knife. That will go nicely onto there, look. So we'll turn that a little, and we'll go on that one. Don't be too brave and go too deep. But you can see the sap is actually running out of them already. I haven't got them both cut, bring those two together like that. We're going to drop a piece of tape across it to keep it clean and then put a clip on. Okay, so you need to bring that two, remember to get them both where your cuts are together. Whip your tape round. The tape actually just holds it that little while you, or would, while you put this on. And make sure the grafts are together, which they are. Now if I left it like that, the rootstock is in the way a little, so let's take that off. Okay, now there you go, that's pinned nicely. Now just check it, make sure everything's fine. If you're a little bit unsure, you can always drop another 1 or 2 clips on, it's no problem. But you must have tape, keep it clean. Put your pot back on. Then what I should do, I should put another pot underneath there, just hold it in the greenhouse. Give it a good watering, keep it warm, and it'll be growing away in no time at all. This is the way to do it if you want your heritage tomatoes to grow bigger and stronger with less disease resistance. Now, don't try it for the first time on your heritage tomatoes. Pick a couple that you've got left over and start and learn how to graft with that. It's quite simple. It's just an approach graft. You slice one side, slice the other, bring the 2 cambium layers together, put the tape round just to keep it clean, then put the clip on that hold it fast. They will soon start to send the sap both ways, and then your scion will grow away, and then we'll cut the root off the scion, and then all the sap will be coming from the rootstock that we want. Now it's getting a bit late now, so we need a cup of tea, I think. We still need to put the onions in. We'll do that tomorrow now, so that we'll call it a day for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hello and good morning. We're back in the shed. Now yesterday we did the tomato graft with the side graft. One of our subscribers told us to try the saddle graft on the tomatoes. Now I've had 1 or 2 little experiments with it, and we're going to try a saddle graft this morning, and then we'll go down and plant the onions, and we're going to do a little bit of work on one of the tunnels. Okay, these are the 2 plants we're going to saddle graft. This one is the stock, so we want to keep the bottom of that one, and we'll graft the top of that one onto the top of that one. A saddle graft is more or less what it says. It's like a saddle that goes over the top, so we'll get on with it. First thing I'm going to do is remove some of these bottom leaves and then take the top off. We'll take the top off first because it's a bit floppy, this one. They have got a bit drawn in the greenhouse, but they'll be fine. So let's just take that top off. That's better, and see what we're doing now. We'll take these off, bottoms. If you leave them on, they'll take the first strength for the sap, and then they'll grow away. And we'll take this off so you can see what we're doing. There you go. To make the saddle we need to cut into a point. So we'll take the knife, about the same on the thicknesses of the 2 plants, and we'll just cut up like that. Take that off, we don't want that. That's it. And then we'll turn it and do the same on the other side, look, like that. That makes a good saddle. Now we need to get on because the sap will be coming out of that one, so we just take this one off. If you take it off carefully, you can actually grow it on anyway. So we'll go there, I think. We'll go through there, that will grow on. Because we're going to graft it, if we leave all this top on, it will be asking too much for the rootstock to send the sap up. So again, take quite a bit off. They're only the ends of the leaves, they'll soon grow through it. There we are, that's a lot better. So now we'll level off. I think just there, we'll level it to there. Now what we need to do now is cut a long V out of that so that the cambium layer of this one will match up to the cambium layer on that one. So it's just a case of getting it in the right place and then cutting through, and again there, look. Cut it through and then remove that middle bit. It should be cut through. That's better, look, now it's come out. There you go. Now the two cambium layers will match up. A little bit on there, that's fine. This will sit on top of that one, matching the two cambium layers up, you see. Let's just take that little bit off. We've got a little tail on this one. Don't want that. There we go. That'll match up on that nicely, look. You see? There you go. So now we need to put the tape round to stop it drying out too fast, and then put a clip on it. And then wrap it with the tape. The tape sticks to itself a little bit, and then you can just wrap it round so it holds, and then a clip. I've sorted my clips out now so I can see which ones I'm using, and then we'll just clip those two like that. You see, that holds nicely. Now because it's sat on top, what we'll do, we'll put a stick in and then we'll put another clip, this one I think, and we'll just clip them to the stick just to hold them in. Because the moisture and the sap will be coming up, we've got to bridge this gap here. So what I found is that if you leave it like that, it tends to dry out in the compost and the top doesn't take, but if I stand them in some water, they tend to take. That's 4 I've done this morning, look. Pop it in the water and leave it in the water for at least a day. They tend to take. Now that's 2 ways I've showed you how to graft. Do have a go. Now I'm trying to get on with the planting. I've got a few more onions to put in, so we'll go down and put the onions in. Now we're down at the frame getting the onions out. As you can see, the backlog is beginning to build up now. We need to get these planted. With the frame being full, the table's full, the greenhouse is full, we just need some nice weather and we can get these planted. Obviously the more tender plants have got to come in here to harden up a bit, and then they can go in the garden. These are the onions we're going to plant. These are radar, they're heat treated. I see there's one that's gone rotten, so we won't be using that one. We'll pick 10 of the best and get them in. Right, we're down the garden. I was down here yesterday, it was absolutely beautiful sunshine. Today it's overcast and a little bit chilly, so I've put my cardigan on today. As you see, I've got the line on and I've planted to there. I'm only doing this year 4 rows of the bulb type onions and then 1 row of the onions I've grown from seed. Now what I do, I just loosen the bulbs with my finger underneath like that. Look, I'm taking the best ones out. There you go, there's enough there to start. Now the spacing, it says in the instructions and everything you can plant your onions at 4 inches. that will be here somewhere, but you'll find that they'll touch. If they're decent onions, you'll have hell of a job. I do mine at about what, 6-8 inches apart, and I'll plant it here. That means I can also get the hoe down the rows, you know, the little onion hoe, and go down the rows a lot easier, and there's somewhere for me to walk. So dig 1 or 2, look, I don't. Let's do 5 at a time, then we'll do them. Oh. Good soil, well prepared, deep dug, plenty of manure underneath. A bit stony, but that'll be fine. Now the way I'm planting them is I'm working across. Then when I finish to clean up, then there's no need to go back and try and tidy between the plants. Because I've loosened the bulbs, I just gently pull them out and hold them by the compost, and then pop them in, and then I just go around with the trowel like we do with the cabbages, but I don't tighten up too much on this. And then when I've done, I follow the line down, so I haven't got to go back and do it again. Okay, so next one, as soon as it's out, hold it. Got a worm in that one, look. Level your bottom, pop it in, loosen round, a little press, not too much, and then tidy along. Same again. As soon as it starts to come, grab it and pop it in. And then just give it a gentle press in and tidy. And again, grab it, in you go. Little press and just tidy through. Alright, I'll carry on now and finish this little row, and then we'll show you the onion set. Now there's the 4 rows of onions in. There's 2 rows this side of turbo. They're the brown or the white onion, brown onions we call them. They're not heat treated, so we'll see how we go with those. Then there's 2 rows of Red Baron. They have been heat treated. That's the onions that we've grown from sets. There'll be another row to put in of the onions I've grown from seed, but the ground's not quite ready yet. I'll have to do that next week when the ground's ready. Between the onions and the frames, I'm going to put the leeks in. This side of the onions in about 1 metre across, all the way across the bed. That'll be for the celery and celeriac. The main space here will be where the beans and the peas go, just giving that little bridge away from the onions. We've put a catch crop of dwarf peas under here, and I've put these covers on because I'll have to water a lot to get them to germinate. I put the covers on so the ground doesn't dry out too fast and pan over at the top. Now these are the overwintering onions. A little bit disappointed in them this year. They are beginning to swell, but they're awfully late. I just hope they make it in time. The garlic seems to be doing quite well. There's no scapes coming yet, so there's a little bit more growing to do. Again, a little bit late. A little bit more growing to do yet. Down the garden, halfway at the tunnels, and somebody's asked me how I put my covers on to hold them down. on these tunnels. So now I've loosened this one off so I can show you how we do it and what we do it with. Now what I do when I've actually put the wires on, etc., or string in this case, I put tape on. This is actually Gorilla tape, just to stop any snags coming on the timber. Also on any joints that we make, I always tape them up so it doesn't snag on the net. Now we put the net on loose. As you can see, what I've done is I've taken that end and I've pinned the centre of the mesh, which is there, to the centre of the hoop at that end, so, and then just laid it on so I can now tension the top. Now if you get the centre, you've pre-measured it so you know it's going to touch the ground all round. If it doesn't, you'll have to knock your arches in a little bit just so it fits. So there's the centre. Just throw those on. Now I'm going to hold that centre in that hand and just gently tension the net on. And then get the pin. These are the pins that we get from Aldi supermarket. Very good. I'm sure you can get them elsewhere. Gently keep the tension on and put that one, which I know it's the centre, and then I just put it in temporary just to hold it. Now you can see the top's nearly tensioned. As we bring the sides round, it will tension up. Now I go to the centre of the tunnel and pin that down so we can pull it level. I use these very cheap. I get them from Wilko, but be careful because they will snap quite easily. If you remember, we've anchored that side down, so you can put a little bit of tension on it that way and push that one in, not just to hold it. Not too firm at the moment, we're just holding it so we can tension it up. Then I do the other side to that one, not too much tension at the moment, just enough to hold it. That's fine, look. We come to the ends. This is both ends done like this. A little bit of tension on the mesh and then push your clip in. Remember, not too tight at the moment. Then again, this corner, you'll find that if we do it like this, especially if it's a bit windy, it won't keep taking off. Again, not too firm, but just enough to hold. I'll just snip up and do the far end corners now, and then we can start and tension. And I'll do the other side. If you can see here, we've got too much tension on the pull down, so we just loosen the centre pins off a little to release the mesh. Here we are. Now just release the other side one. You see that little bit of a pull down there, so we'll just loosen it a little. But they're not in properly, so we can do it quite easy. That's it, and now we'll tension the ends. Now when you come to the ends, it's a bit like when you're tensioning a polytunnel. You just take the tension and just hold it. Remember, it doesn't have to be too tight. We're doing this side first, then we'll do that side, okay? So we just roll that, roll it round, keep it going out like that, and just have a look, that's fine. And we just put a pin in that. And that's that one done. Halfway across, you do the same just here, and pop another one in there. That's nice and semi-taut. You don't want them really tight. Same again. And then just roll it tidy. A little bit of a pull if you need be. keep having a look. Then that's that side done. Push your pin in, not through the mesh, and then your original centre pin, if we can find it, which is here. You can take that one out now and then tidy this up. Put a little bit of tension on it to bring it down. Tidy that round. Then put your centre pin back in. And that's got that. What I normally do is I lift this first pin at the side here, lift that one up and let it take all the spare mesh that we've got with it down, just to keep it tidy. And then a little bit of a roll here and that clip in it goes. Then I go round and I put clips at the end of every arch and then one in between each arch, and that's it. The clips put in this side, you can see how nice and tidy the tunnel is now. That hold for the season. Now if you want to water the tunnel, once you put your mesh on, just pour the water through. The rain will go through, the air will go through. The only thing that won't go through are the pests. Okay, the sun's coming out now, it's wonderful. Now if you want to buy the meshes, Gardening Naturally are only too happy to supply you. They also do nets if you want to cover your fruit cage with it. It's quite an investment, but they're well worth it. They do last a long time. And if you don't want to build your own arches or construct the fruit cage, they do supply kits that actually slot together and make it a lot easier for you. Silent. I see the chickens are all shouting because the sun's come out. It's a wonderful day. Now that'll be about it for this week. So thank you for watching. Many thanks for subscribing, and hopefully we'll see you next week again in the glorious sunshine. Okay, bye now.